All right, hi, second and third graders. So I'm going to start doing some read aloud videos, kind of like we did in class, where I'd just be reading and you guys can listen. If you want to, you can even grab some crayons and some paper and draw while you're listening to these videos. If you want to, just to keep it normal. I really do miss you guys. I wish I could see you every day, but unfortunately, that's not the case right now. Uh, but I thought this might be a good way to start that, and then we'll also be doing our meeting on Zoom, so hopefully that'll help too, okay? So we're going to start with Arthur Makes the Team. So what I'll do is I'll read like one or two chapters for each video. All right, so we'll start with chapter 1. Buster and Arthur were walking along the sidewalk with their baseball gloves. As they walked, they tossed a ball back and forth. So you think you'll be good at baseball? Buster asked. Arthur shrugged. I hope so, he said. He didn't want to admit to being nervous. He hadn't played last year like some of the other kids. Did you learn a lot last year, he asked. Buster laughed. Did I? Let me show you. Run out for a long catch. Arthur trotted past a tree. Buster waved him on. Further! Further! Okay, stand there. Are you ready? See if you can catch the famous Buster ball. Ready, said Arthur. He held up his glove. Buster threw the ball as hard as he could. But instead of going towards Arthur, the ball shot up into a tree. It bounced around in the branches. I've got it, said Arthur, circling underneath. The ball bounced down off one branch, then another, before rolling onto a roof. I've got it, said Arthur, following the ball's every move. The ball rolled down the roof and onto the gutter. It shot out at the bottom of the downspout, passed between Arthur's legs, and rolled into a storm drain. Oops, said Arthur. I guess I didn't have it after all. Buster looked down at the drain. He sighed. I lose more balls that way. That was a pretty amazing throw, said Arthur. And you learned that in just one season? I sure did. Don't worry, you'll catch on quick. Just think, you're standing out there in the middle of the field. There's no one around. No one around, said Arthur. No place to hide, said Buster. No place to hide, Arthur repeated. At the crack of the bat, the ball is heading your way. Everyone is staring, watching your every move. My every move, said Arthur. Of course, said Buster, and not just your teammates. The other team is watching too, and the crowd in the stands, especially your family. My family? Buster nodded. Sure, parents, grandparents, sisters, everybody comes to the games. Arthur sighed. So let me get this straight. I'm all alone in the middle of the field, and the whole world is watching wherever the ball comes to me? Pretty exciting, huh? Said Buster. I guess, said Arthur. Exciting isn't exactly the word he had in mind. And don't forget batting, said Buster. No, I wouldn't want to do that. Buster crouched down in a batter's stance. It's just you and the pitcher. Nothing else matters. You raise your bat, ready, waiting. The pitch blazes in. You can feel the heat as the ball passes by. Arthur swallowed. You feel the heat? Well, maybe not, Buster admitted, but it's a tense moment because everybody is watching. Exactly. The umpire calls strike, but that's okay. It wasn't your pitch, but now you stand in. Stand in? Said Arthur. It's another fastball, but this time you swing. The ball streaks like a rocket. It's a home run. You circle the bases to the cheers of the crowd. Just like that, said Arthur. Well, not every time, but it could happen if you're lucky. Arthur sighed. I don't know if that would happen. He didn't know if that would happen to him, but it was nice to think about. All right, we're at chapter 2. At the ball field, a bunch of kids were huddled around the bulletin boards looking at the team rosters. I found my name, said Buster. Let's see. Francine, Brain, Binky, Arthur. Yes, we're all in the Eagles together. Yeah, this is going to be a great team. I can't wait to start pitching. Yeah, I want to pitch, said Francine. So do I, said Brain. How will we choose, said Buster. Don't worry, said Francine. The coach will decide. But Francine, said Brain, your father's the coach. She smiled. Funny how these things work out. How what things worked out? How what things work out? Asked her father. Coming up to join them, he had on his Eagles hat and t-shirt. Nothing, Daddy, said Francine, smiling at him. I think I'm going to be sick, whispered Buster. I think you'll have company, said the Brain, whispering back. The whole team, including Sue Ellen, Speedy, Fern, and Alex, sat down in the grass. I'm glad everyone could be here for our first practice, said the coach. As most of you know, I'm Oliver Frensky, Francine's dad. Francine gave Buster a big smile. Now, our motto is going to be teamwork. The coach went on. If you have a favorite position, you can start with that, but you'll be moving all around. Who's going to be our first pitcher? Buster, Francine, and Brain all raised their hands. Excellent. We have a whole staff. Buster, why don't you go first? But, Francine sputtered. You'll get your turn, her father reassured her. Everyone else took a position. Arthur ended up in right field. Nobody else seemed to want to be there. Heads up, everyone, said the coach, waiting with the bat at home plate. Go ahead, Buster. Buster prepared to pitch. He twirled his arm around, shot out his leg, and threw as hard as he could. Coach Frensky blinked. Where'd the ball go? Buster wasn't sure. He was never sure with a Buster ball. A moment later, the ball came down and hit him on the head. Are you all right, Buster? Asked the coach. Buster nodded. Good. Try again, but this time ease up a little. Don't wear that arm out on the first day. Buster nodded. He pitched again, and the ball sailed right over the plate. The coach lined a drive to Sue Ellen at third base. After a few more pitches, it was Francine's turn. Her first pitches were high and outside. Her father fouled them off. Nice energy, he said. Remember now, right over the plate. Francine's next pitches were better. Her father batted them around on the field. Time for my fastball, thought Francine. She gripped the ball firmly and threw. The ball sailed high over everything. Her father, Binky, even the backstop. Well, said her father, that was certainly over the plate. Way over, said Binky. The coach cleared his throat. All right, Francine, let's give someone else a chance. The Brain took the mound. Ready? Asked the coach. In a moment, said Brain. He licked his finger and held it up to test the wind direction. Then he began scraping the mound with his sneaker. Is everything all right? Asked the coach. Oh, yes, said the Brain. Proper footing is very important. When he was finally ready, the Brain made his first careful pitch. All right, and there's this picture. There's Arthur in the field. Coach Frensky hit a grounder to shortstop. The Brain was pleased. He checked the wind and his footing again. He did that before every pitch, so he didn't get many in. The last ball went to the right field. It was a deep pop fly. I've got it, said Arthur, moving backward. He leaped at what he thought was the right moment, and missed. The ball came down behind him. Almost, said the coach. Arthur, that was a very graceful leap. Graceful? Arthur didn't feel graceful. He could feel his face getting red. He knew everybody was looking at him. It was starting to look like the season would be a long one. All right, and then we're at chapter 3, so we're going to go ahead and stop there for today. But I hope you guys are liking this story, and we'll keep going with it. All right, miss you guys.